I'd like to welcome you to Math for Teachers 1 online. In this video, I want to explore this course with you, kind of go over some different expectations, and hopefully answer any questions you may have. I hope you all read and received the email about the amount of time and the commitment that it will take to be in this course. Taking math online can sometimes be a challenge, but hopefully it will be laid out well to where it will feel like you are actually in the classroom. But I do want to emphasize the time commitment that it takes to take a math class online. The other thing that I want to emphasize is that this course goes over how to teach math. So the expectation is that you have already taken math all the way through college algebra. So it should be that a lot of this math you already know. So it's not as much of me teaching you the math as it is me teaching you how to teach the math. So sometimes people will struggle because they don't necessarily remember how to work with percentages or how to work with decimals. And at times you might have to go back and do a little bit of studying on your own, because this course is not intended to teach you all of that math. This course assumes that you know how to add fractions, that you know how to work with decimals, that you know how to work with sets, and so forth. So if you don't, you need to reach out to me early on so that I can help you get some extra resources. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to open the syllabus. And this is going to be your very first assignment, that you read this in its entirety very carefully. So number one, you will read the syllabus very carefully. When you are finished, you're going to scroll back to this page and reread and make sure you've taken care of these 5 steps. So first thing, take time to read this very, very carefully. And so you have this document. I know it's a long document, but it has to be that length to get everything in it that we need to. After you have read this document, number 2, you're going to print off your schedule. And so the course schedule is right here. This will tell you week by week what you are responsible for. So the next thing you need to do is print and read over this document. Third thing you need to do, read it. Then number 3, print it. And I would say that your schedule is probably your most important document, so that you know exactly when everything is due. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to send me a message letting me know that you have done all of this, and that's your first assignment. So if you go to this course calendar, you can see that that's that first bullet. You're going to send me this email letting me know that you've read this. Now, when you send me this email, you're letting me know that you accept everything in the syllabus and that you accept the assignment list. Now, I have put a link here to the email right here in Blackboard. You can see I'm hovering over it. If you click on that link, you can click here, click email instructor, and it's going to open up an email to me. Now, this does go to my SPC email, and when I reply to you, it will come to your SPC email. We're not going to use course messages within Blackboard. We are going to use the SPC email, but I did provide a link for you to do that email in Blackboard. So if you ever need to email me, you can always come to this link right here, and it will send it to my SPC email. But you can also just go to your SPC email and type in my email address and email me from that. So that email is your first assignment, okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get registered for my math lab. My math lab is what we will use to complete all of your quizzes and all of your homework. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as we get into the syllabus, but do know that you need to get my math lab taken care of. So here you have my information here at the top. I am located at the Levelland campus, and you have my office hours. Now, one thing I do, all of your assignments are going to be generally due on Sunday at 11 p.m. And so I've put a couple of office hours Sunday afternoon over Zoom. Otherwise, my office hours are in Levelland, but if you go here to instructor information, there is a link right here. Every Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6, if you click on this link, I will appear on your screen, and I'm there to help you answer questions, whatever you need. at that time. So please use that if you ever need me. Now, I do want to emphasize that this is an online math class, and to do that well, that requires 10 to 12 hours a week. I have yet to see anyone who has waited until Sunday afternoon to start their work do well in the course. They might do well on the assignments and quizzes, but when it comes to the midterm and final, never goes well because you're not giving yourself enough time to retain the information. So I do not at all recommend waiting until the weekend to do your work. You need to do the work throughout the week so that you can retain the information well. Okay. This course is completely online. You can read that. You can read what supplies you need. I have typed up notes for you for every section that you will cover. And so you want to get a binder and put a binder together where you'll keep all your notes and all of your assignments. There will be portions where you are allowed to use a calculator and portions you are not, and I will specify that when the time comes. But because this is an online class, you need reliable internet, you need a way to print, you need a way to scan, you have to have a webcam, whether it's internal or external, with a microphone, because we will use Proctorio to take some of your exams, and you need a webcam in order to do that. In an online class, letting me know that your internet is down is not an excuse for not getting your assignments in. Now, if the whole SPC system is down, yes, I will make an extension. But this is an online class, so if your internet's not working, you need to move to a place where you do have internet. I don't extend work. I teach 7 classes full of students. There's no way possible that I can keep track of extending. So at the end of the semester, I will drop a few grades because I know everybody has a bad day and everybody misses something sometime, but I cannot do extensions. So if you have a bad day and you miss something, just know at the end of the semester, I'm going to drop probably about 4 grades because I can take care of everybody in that way, and there's no way that I can deal with extending anything. So there's not going to be any extensions for any work. If you have an emergency on an exam day, you need to get in contact with me immediately so we can set up an alternative plan. Okay, what you'll also need for this course is the My Math Lab kit. So you don't need the hard copy of the textbook, because when you purchase My Math Lab, there is a digital copy of the textbook included. You can buy the My Math Lab for this course at our bookstore, but you can also purchase it from Pearson online. When you make this purchase, you want to purchase the 24-month version of this My Math Lab kit, because that way you can use the same My Math Lab kit for the next course, 1351, and you don't have to repurchase it. So when you do purchase your My Math Lab, and this is in the directions, but you will come to course content, and this first link is My Math Lab, and that link is what you will use every single time you need to do a homework assignment or a quiz. But the first time you click on this link, it's going to ask you for your access code that you get when you purchase My Math Lab. And you'll have to put that in, and automatically that will connect you to a My Math Lab account for this textbook. And so make sure you purchase the My Math Lab kit, get that code, enter it when you come in to this link right here for the first time. And after that first time, you'll just have to click on this every time you need to complete a homework assignment or a quiz. The next part of your syllabus is just going to be some information because this is an online class. We're going to be using Blackboard. We're going to be using Proctorio, My Math Lab. And sometimes when things are not going well, say your Proctorio messes up, you have to contact them because that's not something that I have control over. You can definitely let me know, but I'm just going to, have you contact them, because if it's a Proctorio issue, that's not something that I can control or help you with. Okay, I will try my best to help you, but ultimately we have to contact them. You need to make sure you read all of these policies. There will be times that you can use a calculator. There's going to be times that you can't. And what I mean by that is we are learning how to teach math. And if we're learning how to teach the addition of fractions, that's a 5th grade standard. So in 5th grade, our students don't have a calculator, and so that's going to be on the non-calculator portion of the test. If we're working with adding decimals, that's a 4th grade standard. That's going to be on the non-calculator part of the test, and that's how that's going to work, but I will indicate that to you when those lessons arrive. So go ahead and make sure you read all of this. When you email me communication, I will do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. If it's on the weekend, that might not happen, but I will do my best to get back to you quickly. As far as grading, you do have a project, and I don't want you to worry about this project yet. We'll worry about it after we get going. It's going to be due about mid-semester, and we'll talk about that after we get kind of in the swing of things. Your homework is in my math lab. Your quizzes are in my math lab. You have unit exams in my math lab. But 50% of your grade is going to come from your midterm and your final. And those courses, those exams are going to be paper exams that we use Proctorio to monitor. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. When you complete your assignments in my math lab, there is a gradebook in my math lab. And I'll actually go ahead and open my math lab and show you that there is a gradebook there. That gradebook houses your grades for your assignments that are done in my math lab. But this is not your overall grade. So if you come and click here on this gradebook in my math lab, it's going to give you some grades. That is not your overall grade in this course. Your overall grade in this course can be found by clicking on My Grades right here. We will use the gradebook in Blackboard, not the gradebook in my math lab. Now what happens is your my math lab grades are synced into Blackboard. And so let's say you go into my math lab and you complete a homework assignment. Every few hours, those grades upload into Blackboard. And so you'll notice right here, this section 1.1 homework, that is an assignment that's done in my math lab. And if you go over here to assignments and you complete this 1.1 homework, and every few hours, these grades are going to upload from my math lab into Blackboard. Do not look at this gradebook in my math lab. That is not your course grade. Your course grade that is weighted correctly is the grades right here in Blackboard. Blackboard is where your grades are housed and weighted correctly by these percentages. And that's all explained right here. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about how your week by week is going to go, and I'll kind of reference back here to the assignments in a bit. So we're always going to go to course content. Every time we need to do a homework assignment or a quiz, we're going to click on my math lab, but we have to learn the lessons first. So week 1, you can click on this, and this will tell you everything that you're responsible for in week 1. You need to send that email. You have a discussion post. Don't forget to reply to at least one post. That's very plain right there. And then you need to print these notes, third bullet, print these notes because I've typed up all of your lessons, all of your notes. Print those notes, and then you watch this video of me teaching you that lesson. After you have printed those notes and watched those lessons, then you need to go to my math lab to complete the homework. So if you go into my math lab, you can go to the assignments and you can open up the homework. And you have 16 questions over this first lesson. Now, here's some recommendations, okay? When you come into my math lab to do your homework, and actually I'm going to refer back to the syllabus and show you here, the homework assignments are unlimited tries until the due date. So you can do the homework as many times as you need to get that grade up to 100. You can redo on the homeworks to get it to a 100. So your homework average should be a 100 because I'm giving you unlimited attempts to every problem. Now what happens is when you go to do a problem, say number 4, let's say number 4, you're working that problem, you miss it. It's going to give you a very similar problem but another version. The other reason we use my math lab is because a lot of times people come into this class and they don't remember all of this math. And there's no way possible for me to reteach you all of the math, kindergarten through basically we cover up through 9th grade, I can't go back over all of that with you. It's assumed that you remember all of this math. When I give you the homework in my math lab, if there's something you don't remember, you can click on View an Example, and it will walk you step by step through an almost identical problem. So, let's say you're working number 10, and you don't, know exactly what you're doing. On this one, there's not that there, but there's this Ask My Instructor. And so when you click on that, it'll send me an email letting me know you need help. Let's say you're working here on, let me find another one that has that View an Example. Most of those are up here at the beginning. So let's say you're working this and you're like, you know what, I really don't remember all that. And I will go over problems like this. It's just there are some things that it assumes you remember. So say you're working this problem and you need help. It's going to pull up an almost identical problem and walk you through it step by step. And the explanations are good. Sometimes they're not as simple as I would make them, but it is a huge help. Another thing I highly recommend is that you print the homeworks, because you're going to have quizzes in my math lab and tests in my math lab. And guys, the problems are going to look almost identical. So if you print all your homeworks, you can refer back to those when you're doing the quizzes and the test in my math lab, because it's going to be the same exact format on the questions. Another thing I want to point out, and this is something a lot of people forget, past semesters, students have emailed me questions from the homework that they need help with, and I try my best to video those. And so from Unit 1, in past semesters, people have emailed me questions from the homework. And what I do is when I get those questions, I video them so that it's there for students in the future. So when you're doing your homework, if there's something that you need help with from the homework, it's probably likely that I've already videoed an explanation for you. So when you're doing your homework, go to Additional Resources, Homework Help, and then you can watch these videos and let them help you. Now on the homework, we don't all get the same problems. We get a version of that problem. So when you watch the video, it might not be the exact same numbers, but it's going to be the exact same version, exact same problem, but a different version of that problem. So homework assignments are all in my math lab, unlimited attempts. You can work them until you get a 100. Discussions are all in Blackboard. And so like on that first week, you go to course content, week 1, you have a discussion. That's an easy 100. Just type out, whatever the prompt is. It's very easy. You have quizzes. All of the quizzes are in my math lab. And so if I come back to assignments in my math lab, you can see here you have homework assignments and you have quizzes. The homeworks are unlimited attempts, no timing at all. But on the quizzes, they're timed at 80 minutes and you get 2 attempts. So let's say you take the quiz, you make a 40, you get to do a redo, and then I'll accept your highest grade on the quizzes. We have tests in my math lab. And if you'll notice, all of these homework and quizzes, they're already open. You can start working. But the test in my math lab will open. And they are timed, but they are not already open. They will open when the course calendar says, and I will send you a password when the time comes to get into those tests. And you can see if you refer to the course calendar, you'll recognize when those tests are coming up. So test 1, I must have passed it right there. Test 1 is in week 4. And so when that opens in week 4, I will send you a password to enter the test. The tests in my math lab are timed at 2 hours, which is ample amount of time as long as you're prepared, but you'll need to read this to make sure you understand how to do that. Now here's the big thing. We have a midterm and a final that we use Proctorio. These are paper tests. The midterm will cover the first half of the semester, units 1 and 2. The final will cover the second half of the semester, units 3 and 4. That's very clearly indicated on the course calendar right here, midterm. It tells you exactly what it's covering. And these are the Proctorio exams are the only things in the semester that are not due on Sunday. And it's very clear when they open. These exams are open for 24 hours. You have 2 hours to complete it once you open it, but we will use Proctorio. And it will be one of those things where Proctorio monitors you. It's going to record you taking the test. And so Proctorio can stress some people out. That's why in week 2, we're going to do a practice run on Proctorio. So, and this is not something that's due on Sunday. Your assignments are due on Sunday. This is a Proctorio exam. A lot of people miss this, and they email me, I missed it, and I'm sorry, it's on the calendar. If you missed it, it's because you're not reading the calendar. The Proctorio exam practice run is week 2. Now, this doesn't count as a test grade. This is a homework grade, just making sure you know how to use Proctorio, okay? And it's going to be a very easy thing to do, but it's going to open on September 7th at 6, and it's going to close on September 8th at 6. You have to make sure that you do that practice run in Proctorio. That way, once we get to the midterm and the final, you're comfortable with Proctorio. You'll click on this link, and I made a video showing you how to use Proctorio. And I made a list of step-by-step directions on how to use Proctorio. That information is also all right here in the syllabus, exactly how to use Proctorio. And then again, I made a video explaining all of that. I want to emphasize, when you're using Proctorio, you need to use Chrome, and you need to make sure your Chrome is up to date. And how you do that is you come up here to these 3 buttons and go down to Help, About Chrome, and it will run a little check for you and make sure your Chrome is up to date. If it's not, then you need to update it, and it will prompt you to do so. Okay. I'm going to just talk slightly about this because I really do want you to get an easy 100 here. But if you don't show your entire workspace, that's an automatic 0. Make yourself a note right now. You have to show your workspace. That's an automatic 0. You have to show these things. After you complete the assessment, this is all in the videos, so you just need to watch it. But there's just things that are very important that I have made this video explaining to you, but you just need to make sure. I mean, none of this is hard. You just have to read and pay attention. If anything ever goes wrong in Proctorio, you immediately, so let's say you got kicked out of your test, or it's not working right, or whatever, you immediately just need to click on this support button and come down here to start live chat, and they will have you back in and running very quickly. And this is something that they have to help you with. I can't control, but their support is excellent, and they're open 24/7. So if you're taking your test in the middle of the night and something happens, you go right here, chat with them, and they'll get you back in and going. Proctorio has excellent services. And the nice thing is that on Proctorio, they are monitoring your exam. They're recording you, they're recording your screen, they're recording, they're recording your sound, your screen, it's just a really good proctoring service, okay? All right, so back to the syllabus. We're not going to worry about the project right now. You need to read the rest of this carefully. Read all of your syllabus very, very carefully. I know that's a lot of information, but I kind of just wanted to take you through the course. I'm going to do one more little set of highlights. So start here is where you are now. It has the syllabus and the calendar. And then I made some videos on how to scan documents, because there will be several times in the semester that you have to scan things and upload them. And the easiest way to do that is with one of these 2 apps. And so that's easy to do on your phone. Next thing you have is my information and my link to my Sunday office hours. Next thing you have is a link to email me. And remember, that will go to the SPC email. Next thing you have is another link to the syllabus and the calendar. Under course content, here is your link to my math lab. Every time you need to do a homework assignment, quiz assignment, or your tests that are in my math lab. A link to your project, which I said we'll focus on later after we kind of get going. And then week by week, everything you need will be right here linked. So like I said, you'll print these notes, watch this lesson, go do the assignment in my math lab. Print these notes, watch the lesson to fill them in, go do the assignment in my math lab. So under course content, we have week by week by week. In additional resources, here are all the things that I have that can help you in some way. Don't forget about those homework help videos. A lot of people have emailed me in the past like, oh, I need help on this, and I try my best to video every time I do an explanation and post it. And then you have a link to all of your grades. The very top line here will be your course grade weighted at that time. One thing I want to point out, if you go start an assignment in my math lab and you don't finish it, and say you have a 32 on that assignment, it's going to upload that 32, but when you go finish that assignment and you get it up to a 100, it's going to resync the 100 up until the time that it is due. Okay? If you have any questions over how the class is going to be run, definitely don't hesitate to reach out at any time.